Everyone's all upset because Butt Munch, North Carolina used to have the textile mill that gave half the people in town high-paying factory jobs. And then the textile mill moved to China, Mexico. Nobody has jobs anymore, and the town's drying up and blowing away, and it's such a shame, and they ought to make them bring back the textile mill. Okay, sure, I understand the pain, but stop and think for a moment. Why was there a textile mill in Butt Munch in the first place? Wasn't always there, was it? A generation earlier, there was nothing but farms, and everyone worked in agriculture. Where do you suppose the factories were then? Well, they were in the cities, that's where. There used to be factories all over Manhattan. Many of them were multi-story buildings with several floors of manufacturing stacked on top of each other. That was because land was expensive in the inner city even then. But that's where you built your factory because that's where you could get your inputs you needed. That's where you could get your workforce, and that's where your market was. So you built there. Butt Munch, North Carolina, they grew tobacco. So what changed? Trucks, reliable road network, rural electrification. Now it's possible to have your textile mill in Butt Munch, North Carolina, and truck in the various inputs and truck finished goods back out. Also, land was cheap in Butt Munch. Shit, just build one store. That's cheaper too. And labor was especially cheap because there were all these uneducated farm workers you could pay shit and they'd think they was rich. So, all the factories in the cities closed down and all the workers lost their jobs to a bunch of farmers from Butt Munch, North Carolina. Then years go by and technology continues to make things more abstract. Now you can literally ship inputs to China and ship finished goods back cheaper than you can make them in Butt Munch because the workers make even less there. And so off to China goes the textile mill. So the glory days of the mill in Butt Munch were a transitional stage when the economy was no longer local but not quite global yet. And the good people of Butt Munch were the Chinese and Mexicans of the day, taking jobs from honest, hard-working city dwellers because they'd work cheap. Neither of these things is ever going to go away, so no, Donald Trump is not going to bring back high-paying textile mill jobs back to Butt Munch, even if he has the Navy sink every container ship in the Pacific. If they build a new mill in Butt Munch, it's going to be run by robots, and the money's all going to investors in the coastal finance centers.